Welcome back to timeanddate.com, and we're here for a total solar eclipse, and we're just getting started. And I'm here with Dr. Renate Meulenhuis. She's an astrophysicist at timeanddate.com, and she has been manning the telescopes that are just outside the picture over here. It's still cloudy in Iceland. We can see here from the timeline that the eclipse has started in Iceland. If they're lucky, they might see a little break in the clouds. They might see the moon eating away at the sun. Let's have our fingers crossed that they can see something there. But here in Lyon, we're still waiting for first contact. We're looking at Jeremy Krause's big, beautiful sun there in the middle of the screen. We've also got Palma in Spain on the right-hand corner there, and Stavanger, Norway, there right below. All our feeds up, and it's quite an occasion. We usually have a lot of bad weather. So in about 40 minutes, first contact here in Lyon. But while we're waiting, we're going to talk to Renate about the magic of eclipses when it comes to science, and also just the awe that we feel when we're near an eclipse. So finally, we're here. We arrived on Sunday. It's been a busy few days, especially in almost 40 degrees heat. That's 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's been very hot for people and for equipment. And how has it been getting ready for this eclipse, Renate?
Yeah, so as you say, it's been quite intense. Of course, we started getting ready long before we actually traveled out here. We've been testing in the office and packing and making sure everything's in order. And then we came down here and started testing a lot. And of course, as you mentioned, our main problem has been the heat, both for us people, but also for our equipment. So the sun is the star of the show, but it's also making things a little bit difficult.
She's quite a diva.
Yes.
She likes to be the star. So we keep being asked what a solar eclipse is and why it happens. And we have an astrophysicist here that can explain it to us.
Yeah, well, simply put, a solar eclipse happens when the sun, the moon, the earth align so that the moon comes in front of the sun in the sky. And this solar eclipse here is special. It's a total solar eclipse. That means that from some places on Earth, you will see the moon completely cover the sun in the sky. And what happens then is that the darkest part of the moon's shadow lands on Earth and travels across a narrow path on the Earth's surface. And the people standing in that shadow, they get to see totality.
Just like we are.
Yes, just like we are.
Just like we are. And why are they so special for us humans, but also scientists?
Well, this is what you mentioned in the beginning. It's a little bit of where the magic and the science is combined. So you have that wonderful feeling of experiencing something special when you look at it. It's not something you see every day, especially for a total solar eclipse. You have the animals behaving differently, temperature dropping, things like that. But also it's a real possibility for science and experiments and data to be gathered. So that's really exciting. There's people gearing up to do real science experiments now, like NASA. They want to try and follow the moon's shadow to observe the corona, the sun's outer atmosphere. They want to send up balloons to study how everything affects Earth's atmosphere. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun as well. And this is your first totality. I'm excited for you. What are you looking forward to?
Well, if everything is in order with the equipment, hopefully I'll be very busy during totality. But if not, then I can just stand back, enjoy, and watch it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the corona with my own eyes and also seeing how the animals behave and how they react to this happening.
Yeah, from my experience, the birds start flapping, the dogs start barking, so there's a lot of things that can happen. So we're finally super excited to finally be sitting here, and there's a lot more to come over the next 2 hours or so. Be sure to look at timeanddate.com. There you can find our news feed with updates on this eclipse and pictures and a lot more. So we're getting super excited. We're going to be here for almost 3 hours, so we will see you back here soon. You're watching a total solar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we have first contact in Stavanger, and I have shivers. I am so excited. Look at that. Oh, a little bit of artifacts there, but that is all part of live streaming eclipses. And we're getting super excited about first contact here in Leon. I have my eclipse glasses ready. First contact here will be in about 24 minutes.
That's right. Looking at the timeline on the left of the screen, well, we can see that the eclipse in Spain starts at 1730 UTC. That's when the eclipse starts in the very northern part of Spain. But more or less, the whole of Spain, to within a few minutes, is running on very similar times for this eclipse. The eclipse is starting first in northern Spain, and then it's moving south down through Spain. So it'll be a couple of minutes after 1730 UTC when we see first contact here in Leon. Meanwhile, further north in Europe, definitely from our time and date observatory at our HQ in Stavanger, Norway, we can see the moon starting to take a bite out of the sun. And this is what people across Europe, if they have clear skies, are going to be able to enjoy this evening. That bite of the sun is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until across many areas of Europe, we're going to have 80%, 90% of the sun covered by the moon. All that will be left will be a thin crescent sun.
Yeah.
Anna, we also saw earlier in the corner of the screen, we saw some images from St. John in Canada. The eclipse is underway there as well. We saw that there was a small bite being taken out of the sun in St. John. This is in eastern Canada. Our collaborator in Canada is Chris Kerwin. He does all kinds of wonderful outreach in eastern Canada. He has a Facebook page, Astronomy by the Bay. He is struggling a bit with clouds.
Yeah, we can
there
see
in St. John. So his feed is sort of coming in and out there on the side of the screen because it's not perfect weather there. It is a very cloudy part of Canada, but we definitely saw first contact from St. John. And
there you go.
Okay.
Speaking of the sun,
right? The clouds, as we speak, the clouds part, and there we see a bite coming out of the sun from Canada as well. So things have started here. We can also see on our timeline that the eclipse has also started in Iceland. That's the first marker on our timeline. Just a reminder that we do have clouds in Iceland. So unfortunately, it really looks like we're going to not be able to bring you any images from Iceland today because it's just thick cloud everywhere there. That's been the main disappointment with the weather so far.
We've been getting some really sad messages from our partner, Sava Helgi Bragason there in Iceland, and he said it's been a really rough day because this has been leading up to this for many years of his life, and that's the horrible thing about eclipses is that if it's clouded out, it's clouded out.
Yeah. Mima, and as we've been talking, we can see that bite that the moon has made into the sun in Stavanger, I mean, that's grown as we've been talking. Maximum eclipse in Stavanger is coming up at 1759 UTC. So there's still another 50 minutes where the moon is going to be eating away at the sun in Stavanger in Norway. Maximum eclipse there is going to be 85%. So 85% of the sun's disk will be covered by the moon.
And in Stavanger, we've been run down with messages. I've had so many messages about eclipse glasses that they are sold out, and so we have been putting out eclipse glasses for everyone to pick up at our office in HQ there. We're very happy to oblige, and they've been sharing them around. So I've been getting messages from my friends that are watching the eclipse right now. So excited that our hometown can see it as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So just to recap what we're looking at here, in Stavanger, Norway, at the time and date HQ, we're on our way to an 85% partial eclipse. At the top right of the screen, that's us here, Leon, in northern Spain. We're still waiting for first contact, still waiting for the eclipse to start. And St. John, Canada, yes, the eclipse is underway there as well. Maximum eclipse in St. John, 1755, so around the same time as Stavanger, but not nearly as deep. It is only a 29% partial eclipse in St. John, so about a third of the sun's disk will be covered by the moon.
So don't go away. We've still got First Contact in Leon coming up, and go and check timeanddate.com for more information about the eclipse, about our partners, about the deepness of the eclipse where you are. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it there, and we will be back with you soon.
De mozzarella van Galbani, daar zijn geen woorden voor nodig. Proef zijn frisheid, smeuïge textuur en heerlijke smaak. Galbani, nummer 1 in Italië.
welcome back. You're watching a total solar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we're getting very excited. There's a lot of first contacts happening at the moment. We saw first contact there just above us. Where was that again?
That was in Genoa.
That was in Genoa. So in Italy, they've had first contact in Stavanger. Like the sun is starting to look a bit like a moon. And here in Leon, Spain, you can see the sun is fairly intact, but we're very quickly coming up to totality there. You can see that our dot on our trusty timeline there on the side has moved past Spain star, but that was right up in the north corner of Spain. So yeah, first contact in Leon coming up in just a few minutes, and then Palma de Mallorca in Spain shortly after that.
That's right. So just to recap, the moon's shadow is moving across Spain from the northern coast down across to the eastern coast, and then the eclipse is ending out in the Mediterranean. So Mallorca will be really the final place to see totality today. The eclipse here in Leon started at 1732 UTC, so any moment now we should be able to see the eclipse starting on our feed from here in Leon. We should be able to see that first tiny bite coming out of the sun. So we'll keep our eyes glued.
And there is a bit of lag. We have to say that. Like when we're sending our images, there is always a few seconds of delay. So we're just waiting for it to start biting away there. And if I'm lucky, no, I can't. We're still in the shade. I can't look out yet. I'll have to move out the screen. Oh, we can see it. Can you see it there, bottom right?
Yep, it has now started there. At the bottom right of the sun, we can now see that that imperceptible first bite. So this is just the moments after first contact. That's when the edge of the moon just starts to eat away at the sun. And there we are. The eclipse is very much underway in Leon, here in Spain. Totality in Leon is coming up in about an hour at 1828 UTC. That's when the moon will be covering all of the sun here. So over the next hour or so, that bite will be getting more and more until at 1828 UTC, we will have 1 minute and 45 seconds of totality where the sun disappears from the sky. We see this black hole in the sky, and we see the solar corona, the sun's outer atmosphere, shining around the moon.
And you might see me a little bit distracted because I'm looking out at the field that we're sitting in, and the locals are coming in. They've got chairs, they've got umbrellas. They're coming up and saying, hola, and we've enlisted a local to help us shoo them a little bit away because we're trying to tell you guys all about the eclipse, and she's showing them how to wear the glasses, and we've trained her well to help us out too. So we're not alone. We're enjoying the eclipse with the local population here in the little village we are in outside of Leon in Spain.
Absolutely. Now, Anna, we should also mention we have something new on the screen as well. Just above us, we have our live eclipse map. And this shows us where totality is happening right now. So we're looking at a map of the northern hemisphere. There we've got Canada on the left, we've got Greenland in the middle, and then we've got Europe on the right-hand side. The shaded area there shows where a partial solar eclipse is visible today. And there's that dark strip running down the middle of the map. That is the path of totality. That is the very narrow strip that you have to be on if you want to see a total solar eclipse, where the moon completely covers the sun today. And in the middle of the map, we have that bright red dot. That is where totality is happening right now. So right now in Greenland, that's where that red dot is. That is where totality is happening right at this moment. This is a live map, so that red dot is moving south. It's moving towards Iceland. Totality in Iceland starts quite soon at 1743 UTC. That's what it's showing on our timeline on the left-hand side of the screen. That's when that red dot is going to arrive at Iceland. And then it's going to continue moving south. It's racing towards us in Spain, and totality will be arriving here in Spain in around about 50 minutes from now. The moon's shadow, it is moving across the globe at a really high speed. In the bottom right corner of our map, we have the speed that the moon's shadow is traveling across the globe. It's 3,500 kilometers an hour, which is 2,200 miles per hour. So totality is racing towards us at high speed. The weather here continues to be great across much of Spain. We've got lovely clear skies here. So yeah, totality is on its way. Just again to say that we do have telescopes in Iceland, but we also have completely thick clouds. So unfortunately, no images of totality from Iceland today.
But for those that are in Iceland, they will notice totality will go dark for them.
That's right. Even if you can't enjoy seeing the sun disappear, you will notice the effects of it, because it will indeed go dark. So in Reykjavik, in the Icelandic capital, there's 1 minute of totality. So even though it's cloudy, everybody there is going to notice as totality approaches, the light levels dropping off until you get that much more darkness effect for 1 minute during totality, because up above the clouds, the sun has disappeared.
So first contact has happened here in Leon, Spain. It should be happening in Palma de Mallorca right now. We might be able to get some images up from them now if they're listening to me in the Time and Date HQ in Stavanger. So first contact happening very soon, or right now in Palma de Mallorca as well. So I think Stefan Thorsten has got his Eclipse glasses out and is super excited.
Yeah, just correct. So yeah, as 1738 was first contact in Palma de Mallorca. So yeah, everything is just happening a few minutes after each place as the moon's shadow moves across Spain.
So we're going to put our Eclipse glasses on. We're going to continue looking up at the sky here in Leon. I hope you're lucky enough to see the eclipse. If you are, check it with your Eclipse glasses. Up next, we're hoping to talk to Jeremy Krause about his amazing feed. We're looking at it right now. We will see you back here very soon.
You are back and watching this solar eclipse across the Northern Hemisphere on timeanddate.com. On our screen at the moment, in the top right-hand corner, we have pictures from Kristiansand in southern Norway. Our pictures there are coming from our partners, the Agder Astronomy Club in southern Norway. They've got a beautiful crescent sun there. Maximum eclipse in Kristiansand is in about 10 minutes from now at 1800 UTC. And at maximum eclipse, 84% of the sun will be covered by the moon. So that's what we're seeing in the top right corner. In the main image on the screen, this is what's happening right here in Leon in northern Spain. The eclipse is well underway. Totality will be starting at 1828 UTC. So we've got a beautiful partial eclipse here. This telescope that we're getting this image from is being operated by our very own Jeremy Krause, who is right here. And Jeremy, you've come to tell us a little bit about some of the struggles and some of the joy of bringing us these images of the eclipse.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
So, I mean, you've been preparing for this for quite a few weeks back at our HQ in Stavanger. How has that all gone?
Yeah, well, we have to wait for a sunny day, of course, and it is hard to actually completely replicate the conditions of an eclipse, but we obviously do. When we have a sunny day, we point the telescope at the sun and we do a little bit of a run through. And yeah, absolutely. So we don't expect that many sunny days in Stavanger this time of year, unfortunately. And then when we do, a nice sunny day is probably somewhere around the 20 degrees. More contrast to where we are sitting right now.
Yeah, how has them been for you during testing here in Leon over the past few days?
Yeah, well, we chose this location because of the great location in the path of totality, plus the very low expectation of bad weather for this location. And we did expect 30s, but it has been quite incredible, actually. It's been up to 39 degrees in the shade of our tents. So all sorts of little heat gremlins have been coming out of both of us and our equipment. It's been quite an interesting struggle of problem solving and debugging.
Yeah. So, the equipment has been getting pretty hot. Can you tell us a little bit about the setup you have here?
Yeah. So we have our telescopes, and on the back of those we have a camera which is sending the signal to a laptop. That laptop is then processing the image and then sending it onto a streaming program, and then that is sending it back to our home base. So there's a lot of little points of error, the failure points, I guess you would say, that can happen. And it's been everywhere from the mounts of the telescope, the cameras, the cables to the telescope, to the actual laptop themselves overheating. So it's been quite a struggle, actually.
Yeah. But hey, the result is spectacular. We're seeing this beautiful image here. Now you're working in our next door tent with Renata Molenhoes, who Anna talked to earlier. Is that right that Renata's had quite a few battles with her equipment?
Yeah, the poor girl. This is her first trip with the mobile observatory to film a solar eclipse. And she's had a really hard time with the heat in her machine and her telescope. She actually has just a more general night sky telescope with a sun filter. So it is not really made to be sitting in the baking hot sun of northern Spain for hours on end.
Yeah. And what have some of the solutions to this heat been?
Well, we've been putting on our MacGyver hat, and basically we've been doing everything we can, from pieces of string to cable ties, gaffer tape. Also been using a reflective yoga mat we've chopped up into small little pieces and sacrificed to wrap around our equipment. We've got towels hanging over things. It's a little bit scruffy, but it's working and it's keeping our equipment cool. We've even got ice packs on reserve to put under the machines and wrap things. And yes, we're doing our best to just regulate the actual temperature on our machines.
Wow, excellent. Jeremy, thank you very much for coming and having a chat. We should let you get back to looking after the equipment there. Just to recap, on the screen here, we've got our feed from Stavanger in Norway. Maximum eclipse in Stavanger, just having a check here, 1759 is maximum eclipse in Stavanger, so just in a few minutes. It is an 85% partial eclipse there. In the top right corner, images from Palma in Mallorca. That's where Stefan Thorsen is. That's on the path of totality, so we're heading towards a total solar eclipse there in Palma de Mallorca. We are going to be back very shortly, so stick with us on timeanddate.com. Keep enjoying these images from around the world. Still to come, totality here in Spain, so we will be back very soon.
Welcome back. You're watching a total solar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and things are really changing here. You can tell even from the light on our faces that it feels like sunset, and it is a sunset eclipse, but it's way too soon for the light to be so dim as it is now. The light is feeling different. It's just got that kind of, I don't know, twilighty feel to it, and it just feels a bit wrong. There were some dogs barking earlier. People are gathering in the field over here. There's dogs running around. They've got their pop-up chairs. They've got everything. They're so excited for the eclipse. And so you might hear them talking in the background because there's going to be some oohing and ahhing and excitement going on. So yeah, I can hardly contain myself because I'm getting so excited about this eclipse. We're looking at some gorgeous images there on the screen, Graham.
Yeah, so these are our two images, our two locations in Spain where totality will be happening in about 15 minutes from now. The big picture is coming from Palma de Mallorca. We're seeing some lovely details on the sun there. And I mean, that's just really showing us, Anna, that the sun is not just a bright yellow disk. No. There is a lot happening on the surface of the sun. There's the hugely intense magnetic fields at work. And so we get all of these interesting effects and details on the sun. And this is a beautiful look that we're having at the surface of the sun. We can, we also had, we also had the Leon picture there in the top right, but we've just switched it for Kassel in Germany. Maximum eclipse in Kassel was about 4 minutes ago. It was an 87% eclipse, and it's a beautiful crescent sun we have from there. This image is coming from the Kassel Astronomy Club. They have just opened a new observatory in Kassel. They've renovated an old observatory, and today it is their first official day of operating. Wow. It's called First Light, the first time they're using the observatory for doing real astronomy, and they've got beautiful clear skies. They've got this amazing eclipse. So congratulations to the team in Kassel on First Light for their new observatory. On our eclipse map, just below that, we can see that red dot. That is where totality is happening right now. It's happening in the Atlantic Ocean. It's racing towards Spain. That shadow is accelerating because it's going to be skimming off the edge of the Earth at sunset. So we're going to see the speed is going to be increasing. At the moment, it's 4,200 kilometers an hour, around about 2,600 miles per hour. But as we look at those numbers, we can see that it's accelerating because it's just going to be skimming off the edge of the Earth as it runs into sunset. So totality is on its way here in Leon. It's coming up at 1828, which is only 11 minutes away.
And I'm just looking at our little toenail of a sun here. Just underneath the tent, you can see the sun lighting up our faces already, and totality is coming up fast. And what can we see, Graham?
Yeah, so this picture we're seeing here from Leon in Spain, the moon is eating away at the sun. It's causing that crescent shape of the sun. That crescent is going to get thinner and thinner until we just have the just like one of those new moons where you can just see that tiny sliver of a crescent. That's what's going to happen to the sun. Eventually, the crescent will shrink to just a single point of light. And at that point, we can start to see the solar corona. And the combination of that bright point of light and this shimmery solar corona around the blackness of the moon, that gives us the effect of the diamond ring, this bright jewel of sunlight with this sort of shimmery ring around the moon. The diamond ring quickly disappears and turns into Bailey's beads. These are the very final blobs of sunlight we can see before the sun gets completely covered. It's sun shining through valleys around the edge of the moon's disk. And those are the final bits of sun we will see until the moon covers the sun completely. That's when totality begins. That's when it's okay to remove solar eclipse glasses and enjoy totality, when we can see the solar corona, but it doesn't last long. So here in Leon, totality starts at 1828 UTC. We'll have 1 minute and 44 seconds of totality. The moon's shadow will just keep racing southwards towards Mallorca. Our feed from Palma de Mallorca, totality there will happen straight after Leon at 1831 UTC, and there it will last for about the same duration, 1 minute 36 seconds. So we're going to be enjoying consecutive totalities. Firstly, here in Leon, moon will completely cover the sun, and then just after the sun re-emerges, just after we get more Bailey's beads, we again see the sun shining through the valleys on the other side of the moon's disk. We get another diamond ring effect as the sun's crescent starts to reappear. And then totality is completely finished. Solar eclipse glasses have to go back on before Bailey's beads, before any part of the sun is visible. And then the solar corona disappears and we're back to a crescent sun and the final stage of the eclipse. So totality in Leon, 1828. Totality in Palma de Mallorca, 1831. That's UTC. Just a reminder that local time in Spain, it's coming up to 8:30 in the evening. The sun is getting very close to the horizon. This is a sunset totality.
Sunset in 1 hour here in Leon. So, it's all coming up very soon. Now, I was over at the other tent talking to Renata and Jeremy, and Renata is working her little bum off over there. She's getting the telescope going. She's trying to get it ready for the totality, to see if we can capture totality with her telescope. It has been overheating, her computer's been overheating, but the temperature has been going down. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that we're going to see some proper totality images here from Leon. So excited about that. But we're going to leave you here to enjoy the totality. So we're going to disappear. You can watch these beautiful images on the screen, and we will be back after totality in Leon first, and then Mallorca after. So we will see you back on the other side.
De mozzarella van Galbani, daar zijn geen woorden voor nodig. Proef zijn frisheid, smeuïge textuur en heerlijke smaak. Galbani, nummer 1 in Italië.
You're back with us on timeanddate.com, just on the other side of totality here in Spain. So let's just recap what happened there. Right now on the screen, we are looking at a crescent sun in Palma de Mallorca and a crescent sun in Leon in Spain. So this is just now a few minutes after totality happened. The moon is now moving off the face of the sun, and we're also heading towards sunset. The moon, the moon and the sun are both getting really low in the sky. We have our map above us. For the last couple of hours, there's been a red dot on that showing us where totality is happening. That red dot has disappeared because the darkest part of the moon's shadow has now slid off the edge of the Earth. It was traveling at a really high speed when it just skimmed off the edge of the Earth into space, and so the total eclipse is over worldwide now. Partial eclipse is still going, of course. What did we see on the screen during totality? Well, on our feed from Leon, we saw that crescent sun getting thinner and thinner, and then just disappearing when we got to totality. Got the ideal telescope for watching totality was Renata's white light telescope. That's the one we've been talking about earlier, the one that's been overheating and has been having all these troubles in the sun. So we didn't have the ideal telescope there for catching totality, but we certainly saw the sun disappear and reappear on the images there. We then switched over to our feed from Mallorca, and we did see a beautiful totality there with the solar corona around the edge of the sun. But there's also a very human factor that, of course, at the moment of totality, everybody in Mallorca had their mobile phones out. Everybody was taking pictures. Everybody was streaming video. And the internet connection from there, as we saw on the screen, really, really suffered. So, yeah, that was a very human explanation for that. It's just so many people in Mallorca were enjoying totality that they were just breaking the internet. So that's what was happening on the screen. Meanwhile, here in Leon, on the ground in Leon, the sun is coming back. The light levels are going up. Where the temperature is changing again. I've done all the talking so far here because Anna, you're in your post-totality phase. How was that on the ground here?
I had a big cry. We did stand here just the side of our screen and pinched each other's in the arm, and it's really hard to describe other than like a big black hole in the sky surrounded by a beautiful, beautiful halo, and it's of wings of corona that just wisp into, and it's just, if you get yourself to see a totality anytime in your life, do it, because it's so worth it. And the people here were wowing and clapping, and there were a few dogs barking, not so many birds flapping about as I expected. So, but you really, like, the mood just completely changes, and I just, my heart is like in my throat and in my stomach at the same time at the moment, because it's just awe-inspiring, and it's part of just making you feel like a tiny human in this big universe, lining up to let the moon cover the sun like that. And I could waffle on about this for ages. You have to stop me, Graham.
Yeah, you're certainly right about it. There was a wonderful reaction here on the field just in front of us, in the village that we're in. Everybody, of course, came out for totality. And the reaction of everybody was absolutely amazing. It is a completely, utterly unique experience. That's for sure.
And the temperature dropped. Like we can really feel it. We've been fighting like heat, and it's when we were setting up here earlier, and Renata's camera and computer and everything was overheating. We had 40 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's now down to 30 degrees Celsius. Obviously, there's the sunset also, but I think this is the coolest we've had it here since we've been here in Sunday. So it really has made a difference on the environment here, and yeah, it's just amazing that these things line up like this and create these amazing things in the sky.
Absolutely. We still have lots to come here.
We do.
On timeanddate.com.
I have to pull myself together.
We still have the second partial phase of the eclipse to enjoy. The sun is getting down closer and closer to the horizon. In Palma de Mallorca, the sunset comes there first. 1849 UTC is when the sun is setting in Palma. It comes a bit later here in Leon. We're just a bit further across on the globe. Sunset here is at 1928 UTC. So our plan is to follow the sun all the way down to the horizon for the next hour. So we still have a lot to enjoy. We're also hoping to talk to the person who's been running our telescopes there in Palma on the island of Mallorca. That's Stefan Thorsen, our chief eclipse chaser at Time and Date. So stick with us. Still plenty to come. We will be back soon, and we'll hopefully be talking to Stefan in Mallorca.